Hello and welcome. This is Intermediate Coding in Minecraft, episode 1, with your favorite computer science and coding teacher, Mr. Pitts. So what I wanted to do was give a good resource for teachers and students who may be headed into this Intermediate Coding in Minecraft course. And I've been teaching it for several semesters now, multiple groups over several semesters, and it's one of those things that, again, I just wanted to share what I've learned, how to get through the course, some tips, some tricks, some wonderful things about Minecraft education, and how to learn how to code. It's never been more important to learn how to code and to understand computer science, and so we need to get into it. So this is my creative world. I'm going to hop back out to the title screen. We'll talk a little bit more about what to create, how to get started in the class, what we need to do to become good computer scientists and coders. So let's head back out to the title screen. Let's go. So here's the title screen for Minecraft Education. If you'd like to change the way your avatar looks, the way your character looks, you can click on this little clothes hanger icon and then choose from one of the available skins that are built into the program. So they go from pretty basic to very flamboyant. I've been told by the students that this particular skin reflects me more accurately than any others. So I'll go with that one. I did have the mad scientist skin and got many complaints because they say I'm not gray haired yet. So anyway, one of the first settings that I recommend adjusting before we get into any worlds or anything else in our labs, we have to scroll down and turn off, make sure that is off, cloud storage to OneDrive. So we don't have that turned on for the program, and sometimes getting in and out of worlds can make the can make the software not work well if that is on. So we want to make sure we turn off OneDrive. Next, what we're going to want to do is get our world for the class from codingcredentials.com. So depending on what district you're in and what class you're signed up for, you will go there for the world download. From there, once you have that world downloaded onto your computer, you're going to click import, and then you're going to download, and you're going to grab that world there and download it, which of course I've already done. So this looks like Coding in Minecraft Intermediate, RC11 is the name of the world. I also brought over my flat coding world so that we could talk about that today. But you want to import. That will put the world over here into My Worlds. Once the world is over here into My Worlds, we'll see there. And this is going to be the intermediate coding world that we're into for the class. So before that, I would recommend, because I like to experiment and play around with and find out what works kind of on my own, is to first and foremost, and this is one of the things that we do first in the course, is we go to New World, change the world to something like flat creative, and we're going to make a super flat world where we can just come in and test out code without any restrictions or limitations. So leave that default game mode to creative. Peaceful is fine. One of the things that we want to do is change this world type from infinite to flat. Otherwise, we end up with a regular world. If we do infinite, we end up with a regular world with trees and mountains and hills in the way. And so for creative, for super flat, we just want a flat world. C doesn't matter. I always turn on show coordinates. One of the variables that we work with in the course is coordinates, or our coordinates, of course. You can turn on show days played if you want to. That really doesn't matter. For the creative world, always day. And then the other thing that I do is I go over here to classroom settings and change that to perfect weather. That way we don't have to deal with nighttime and or rain or thunderstorms while we're trying to code and play around with the code there. So those are the major settings. And then we can just go ahead and hit play. That'll bring us into a flat creative world. And that's one of those things where there's just nothing here. Now, the one thing to be careful of in a flat creative world, if you've never played Minecraft before, is that you can easily break blocks. And there's the void. So if you fall into the void, then, you're going to have to hit the respawn button. So we're only 2, 3, 4 blocks away from the bottom of the world in the void. So we have to be very careful there when you do that. Now, something else to note, if you've never played Minecraft before, press the E button. That should pull up your inventory. And in creative mode, you're going to have access to all the blocks that are available. If you're looking for something in particular, you can type it into the search bar there and just go ahead and grab. If you hold down Shift and click, you'll grab a stack of things. Okay, hit escape to come on out, and right click is the button to place things, and left click is the button to punch or break things in Minecraft there. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that when you press the button C, that's going to open up your code builder. There are a couple different options. There's Tinker, there's Python, and there's MakeCode. For intermediate, we use MakeCode, and we typically stick to blocks. Now, when you hit C, what that's going to do is it's going to open up the tutorial. That's also going to open up all of these tutorials as well to show you how some of the coding works. And so what I recommend is for the first couple days when you and your class are messing around, just sort of getting used to the game and kind of getting into it, is to pick a couple of these. And especially if you're new to Minecraft and Minecraft education, then pick a couple of these and just sort of get familiar with how the coding works. They sort of walk you through each one of these, and maybe I'll come back and do a tutorial episode to sort of walk through some of these. But for now, we are going to keep it moving. So I'm going to exit out of the world. And now we're going to head over into the what I call the lesson world. It has all the lessons in it. I don't know what else to call it. Okay, so as soon as you hop into the lesson world for the first time, a little welcome pops up. Welcome to Coding in Minecraft, Intermediate Coding using MakeCode by the wonderful company Prodigy Learning. We'll talk a little bit more about them in the future. So the first thing it's going to do is make sure you can move your character around. So if you are a Minecraft expert, this is going to seem a little basic for you. If you've never played Minecraft before, then this is key to be able to move around and get from activity to activity. So I always recommend we do start tutorial there, regardless of who you are. Now, the first thing it's going to say in bright yellow or gold is use your mouse to look around. If you see that box there in the middle with gold words, we have to do that thing, right? So this world is kind of spoon-fed the activities to us, and so we have to do what that gold message says. So also, to get our attention, do you notice anything in the world that's sort of trying to grab our attention here? Well, yeah, it would be this giant, glowy particle thing, ball, whatever. So if we take our crosshairs, and of course we're using our mouse to move around and look around, and as long as we look at that, it will disappear and another appears. And so we're sort of getting the hang of how to target here. No big deal. We move our mouse around. Everybody uses a mouse. Fantastic, fantastic. And once we've done that, that's the look around tutorial. It's not hard. So we're going to hit continue. Now, from where we are, it's going to give us a message that says press W to move forward. So assuming that we're all on the default buttons, I would not recommend changing these. It's W to move forward, A to move left, W to move forward, D to move right, W to move forward. And by the way, S is backwards. So it's W, A, S, and D are our 4 directions. And if you took a keyboarding class, then you know that you want to use your ring finger on the W and S, pinky finger for the A, and middle finger for the D. And so you get kind of used to moving back and forth and moving around there. So Next up, we'll see a number of NPCs. NPC stands for non-player character, which means it's a character, but they're not a player, like we are. Now, a couple of things, since I just talked about moving around. I'm going to go in and show you, I change a couple of keybinds for my keyboard just to make playing a little bit easier. This is obviously optional, but if you've never played Minecraft before, you can go ahead and change this and get used to it early on. So if you go into keyboard and mouse, and then you come down to the layout, one of the things that I like to change is, let's see, toggle perspective. So toggle perspective is normally set to F5, which is usually across the top of your keyboard. I like to change that to a letter that I can reach easier, so I change that to B because nothing else is bound to B. Sprint, I change that to R for run. It reminds me there. And then the last one that I change is, where is it? It's sneak or fly down. It's normally shift, but rather than wearing my pinky out, because here's the thing, if I'm pressing shift with my left pinky, I cannot also press the A button to move left, and so that bothers me a little bit, so I change that to F. And so I have all of my buttons for running and sneaking right there, and toggling perspective right there where my index finger can reach those. And so those are the ones that I change the most: toggle perspective, sneak, and sprint. So if it helps you out, great. If you've got your own custom keybinds that you like, throw those in the comments so we can share those. But yeah, that's what I usually do. Now that we've gone through sort of the moving around tutorial and the keys, we've got 3 NPCs that we're looking at. One is not like the others, and by that I mean they have some icons. Now again, we've got a gold message that says move to the NPC, and then right click to interact with it. So which one do we think we're supposed to go to? This one? No. That one? No. How about the one with the giant glowing triangle and the being touched on the shoulder, and also the glowy particles underneath? So this is pretty obviously the one that we should be talking to. So let's right click. Now, remember, this is the intermediate course. Some of your students may have taken the basic or introductory course in 6th grade. We used to offer it at our school, but we replaced that with computer science discovery. So not everybody gets it in the 6th grade. Sometimes intermediate is their introduction. So if they are new, and just have everybody stay on the same course, and even if they aren't new, it's always good to do a review. So if you're new, and you haven't done the basic stuff from the previous course before, or you haven't taken this course before, or even if you're just teaching this class and you want your students to all stay together, click on review. And as soon as you click on review, we're transported into this kind of a nighttime world, but it's not really, because it looks like it's just wool. Now also, the other thing that you'll notice about the coding world or the lesson world is that a lot of these blocks are immutable, which means you can't break them. So not like the creative world where we could easily chew through the grass and into the void. These are all kind of permanent structures that we can't break. So we're going to talk to this NPC. Now, one of the things that I do in class, just to sort of help with attention and to give them some creative input, is I allow the first person who as soon as I ask, allow the first person who raises their hand to give the NPC a name, assuming the name is both school appropriate, and stays within guidelines, right? So nothing inappropriate there. So, but again, this one has a big glowy triangle pointing to him or her or it, and what we're going to do is we're going to right click. So the name for the introducing the agent, if you're a student and you want to throw one in the comments, do that. So give us your best name, NPC name. So we're going to right click the name. We're going to right click the agent. And one of the things we're going to do here is he talks about the agent device. And so when we click X, we're ready to go. We now all of a sudden have the agent device on our hotbar. Now, by the way, the hotbar can be selected by pressing the different numbers. So if I wanted to press or highlight the second box from the left, I'm going to press the number 2 button on my keyboard, and that pops me over there to the second box. Number 1 for the first, 2, 3, 4. Now, what I would also tell you and suggest is instead of moving our hands off of the WASD, is to use the mouse wheel, and if you roll that mouse wheel down or up, it will cycle through what's on the hotbar. And to me, that's much easier than moving my left hand around, taking it off the WASD, because I can change what's in the hotbar while I'm also moving at the same time. So took me a year to realize the agent device really is supposed to look like a TV remote. So there it is. I'll save you some time. So now what we're supposed to do is right click with that agent device. And it says here, you can make your agent move in a few ways. We still haven't met the agent yet. Waiting for that. Click the Learn More button below to get started. Remember, you can always interact with the agent device to come back to this screen later. So once you've completed the activity, then you check completed. Let me warn you, especially students who like to speed run through games, you can easily walk up to an activity area like this one, press completed without doing anything, and move on to the next one. As an instructor, I always recommend requiring screenshots for various activities to ensure that they were completed. And sometimes if you press completed without doing the activity, it messes up and it won't let you come back and do it later. So make sure before you press completed, you know you don't need to come back and do these activities. Sometimes you can come back, but we've had issues with those. So don't just speed run through and spam completed, because then we won't learn anything as well. So, all right, so what we're going to do is click the Learn More button. That brings up Code Builder for the first time. Oh yeah. Now we're going to learn to use how to use MakeCode in Minecraft. So we're going to look at how to create blocks of code and make the agent appear so that you can make them perform some tasks. Again, this is not about playing Minecraft, it's about coding. And a lot of our activities will be coding the agent, which is sort of like a robot, to do things for us. This is practical, this is applicable, this is something that a lot of us will end up doing in our careers, and so this is good practice to have. So the first thing we want to know is that Code Builder summons the agent if we're in the right place, and so we press the C key on the keyboard to summon that Code Builder window along with the agent. Okay, so now we're going to come back in and go to Agent Teleport, which is the activity. Before I do that, I'm going to walk into this little wrestling ring. All right, so there's our agent, and it'll have whatever name is associated with your account, .agent there. The agent does have an inventory that we can put things in, which we'll come back to later. But here the agent is in the wrestling ring, if you will. And again, it's yellow because it's active. This is what we're working on. So the activity for this one is Agent Teleport. Now this is lesson 2.1.1 from the previous course. So don't worry too much about this right now. We're still in the tutorial. We're still in the review for intermediate for the current course. So we can make this Code Builder full screen or half screen depending on whether or not we need more room to move blocks around. So they try to make this as easy as possible. So they put the different blocks for coding into these drawers, organized into drawers over here on the left hand side. And they try to color code it and drag our attention to the things that we're supposed to be clicking out during the activities. So it says open the agent drawer, and then we're going to look for the agent teleport to player block, and then we're going to drag that out and place it inside of the chat command. So the way a chat command works is that when we're in the world and we type this command into the chat, the computer recognizes it and then runs all of the code that's inside of that chat command. Okay. If you're ever confused, let's say you're working through an activity, you didn't quite understand what the instructions were up here, you just want to double check and make sure you're on the right page. For most of these activities, there is a light bulb, and you click on that and make sure that your your code matches what's on the light bulb there. All right, now it says let's test the code. Click next for instructions. You can do that. Basically what it tells you is you have to click this green button at the bottom right. If you don't press this green button, this code is not running. If we come up here and just press X, then the code is not running. You have to press this green button for the code to run. Now our agent isn't doing anything, and it certainly didn't teleport to my location because it's waiting for the chat command. So to open your chat window, you want to press the T button. By the way, if you're ever not sure on the major buttons and you want to press that H button, see at the bottom left where it says control tips, press that H button and your major commands or keys will pop up. Not all of them, but some of them, and chat is one of them. So I'll press H to get rid of that thing. So T brings up your chat. Our chat command, I think it was run. You always want to remember what your chat command was. Do that, and the agent teleports directly to the block that I was on. We can do that again. Press T. I like to press the up arrow key, so it refills the last thing that I hit enter on. Hit enter again, and he teleports to me. So that's working exactly as intended. All right. So once we've done the learn more and the agent teleport, we can press completed. And our yellow sort of bouncing wrestling ring turns into a green, calm, chill wrestling ring. And now we're going to come talk to this one here. Now that the agent is visible, you can move it around, interact in the agent device to get started. Okay. So here's a couple activities that we can do for the review. Very important to be able to move our agent around. It can move in one of 6 directions. That's forward, backward, left, right, up, and down. Again, if we're going to do something with our agent, we're going to open the agent drawer. We're going to find the block that says move forward by 1. By the way, there is no move back block, or move sideways, or move up or down. It's just the agent move forward block, and then we bring that out, and then we change the direction. So whenever you're looking for agent move right, you're wanting to find the agent move forward block, and then change it via the drop down what you want. So what we're going to do is agent move forward by 1, place it in the on chat command run. That is a good point that they make in the chat, is you will know a block is going to fit by the shape. There's a little divot there, and there's a little divot there, and they should click together, and you will even know that it's going to click together by the way it sort of opens up and sort of gives you an idea, hey, this is going to click in here. Now, if it's red and it's part of this chat command, that means, hey, this is going to run. If it's over here and it gets kind of shaded out, that means there's nothing to run this block. It's just kind of here as a placeholder for right now. But once you click it in, it's part of that code and ready to go. We double check our light bulb. Good. All right, now it says let's test the code. So what I would expect the agent to do when I type the chat command run is to move forward by 1, because that's what's in the code. So let's see. Absolutely correct. So if I hit run and he does what I expect him to do, that's a successful code. All right, activity 2. We can change the move forward by 1 number to a different number. So we can make that 3 instead of 1. And again, he went forward 1, 2, 3 blocks. So it's exactly what we expected him to do. Heading into activity 3. It says place another agent move forward by 1 block after the agent move forward by 3. Agent move forward by 3, agent move forward by 1. Now we want to click the down arrow on the word and change the directions to one of the 6 directions that the agent can move in. I'm going to change that to right. And the number of blocks to 2. So we've run our code. We would expect him to go forward by 3, 1, 2, 3, and then right by 2, 1, 2, and end up on this block facing that direction. There we go. Keeping in mind that move right and turn right are two different things, right? So moving right and turning right are two different things. All right, let's head over to activity 4. And we're going to make the agent turn. So again, turning and moving are two different instructions. One of the things you'll notice is that these activities in the code builder typically restrict you to what blocks you need for that activity. And so you don't get a lot of extra blocks, because normally this thing over here on the left is full of various drawers and blocks and other things. So it filters out all the stuff you don't need, just the blocks that you need for this particular activity. So what we're going to do is open the agent drawer, and you will find an agent turn left. This is what we use to turn the agent. Place an agent turn left after the agent move right by 2. Click on the down arrow right of the word left, and you can change the direction. So just like the other blocks, you will not find a agent turn right block over here. You will always see agent turn left, and you just have to know that, hey, we can bring it over here and change it to agent turn right. All right, so test the code. All right, so same thing, except at the end he turned left. Now, one of the things you should notice is that the way this coding works is that once we run this chat command, whatever this name is, it's going to start running blocks in order. So it will do move forward by 3 first, then move right by 2, then turn left. So it performs these commands in order. So the order does matter. It matters a great deal. Okay, so that's the first 4 activities in the review. We're going to hit completed there. Okay, now once you're able to hit that completed after those 4 activities, what you want to do is come over here to this NPC with the leave and the bouncy triangle there, talk to them, and hit leave. That's going to bring us back out into the world, back where we were right after the motion tutorial. So again, I'm going to right click and hit continue on this person here. That brings us to lesson 2. So that brings us to welcome to variables. So typically what I do is I do one assignment in Canvas or whatever system that you use for grading, and have them post a screenshot of this point, right? Because they've made it through the review, they've made it through the tutorial, and now we're ready to move on to variables. So I hope that's helpful. Sort of the intro, the setup, the downloads, the imports, the flat world, the coding world, the lesson world, and the intro. So what we're going to do in the next episode is head into lesson 2, talk a little bit more about variables, and get into some more of the activities and even the fun stuff, the assessment. So again, from the intermediate coding in Minecraft lesson world with my ripped jeans and my flannel shirt and TV remote, this is Mr. Pitts. It's been a pleasure, and I will see you in the next episode. Oh yeah.